Divine-gpms.world is a worldwide cumulative gathering of consents from every child, woman, and man to ratify and enact into law worldwide the all-inclusive replacement system of money and law worldwide, as outlined on the consenting website of gpms.world. It is imperative that all worldwide take a couple of minutes and consent to add your accord, children included.
Greetings to everyone. We are on May 4th, 2025, and we have with us people from worldwide representative gpms.org, and also Rick George that is living in Romania. Hi, Rick. I saw a very, very important announcement on your Facebook about the ascension on May 1st. And you said there all souls are ascending 75% of the population by that process or body. So what it is about? It is about the fifth dimension. It is possible now, or is just not working?
Well, what it says is what you said. 75% of what you see as people on the world are actual souls. There's 25% on the earth that are not souls. They are something else. And again, this was mentioned in the teachings of Christ, if you will. Even back then, what he referred to is men made by men. And, you know, that had to be planted way back then. Now, with religion, with all of it, it's been manipulated to some degree. However, there are the core values and the truths that are in there. As one begins to raise in consciousness, they're able to understand more of the clues that have been placed, not only in religions, but in beliefs worldwide. So then they began to compile the higher perspectives as a guidance mechanism in alignment with this ascension as well. So in this ascension, the consciousness is very important and connected to your co-creator abilities, but your consciousness is also what ascends you as well. So when you mention things or hear things in the Bible like the rapture, this is what we are in now. This is what is occurring. A rapture is a sudden upliftment, which actually describes the great awakening that began more prominently in 2012. So it's the rapture of the consciousness as well and into your divinity. So having said that, yes, Earth is in the full ascension protocol, if you will, and it is ascending into the heaven on earth. Now, with 75% of the souls on earth, if you will, some of those will ascend through a death process, but to my knowledge, the numbers are not really set in this divinely, because there are factors that determine how many will go forward with this physical earth and ascend it forward. So having said that, you know, the numbers are there's 75% are ascension candidates, if you will, meaning ascension candidates to go forward with this actual world in the physical vessel. But out of those 75%, there are ones that have gone forward, brothers and sisters, have already ascended through the death process. So there will be ongoing some of that as well. However, it's all ascend. Just because they're not here with you. Many divine psychics and mediums know that when you die here, that's not the end, that the souls do connect with you, but they connect with you from another higher dimensional realm. So having said that, yes, the ascension is ascertained, and again, mainly it's a struggle, a battle with the consciousness and the programming, if you will, by the beast system, the darkness. Uh, so, nevertheless, keeping it short and having said that, there are variables and factors we need to divinely contend with as we go along. And anything that is considered an obstacle is actually not an obstacle. It is something that needs to be reconciled so ones can keep going forward and jumping over the hurdles, if you will. So there is nothing to prevent the ascension, and of course, the heaven on earth, uh, the Divine-gpms.world, which is the will of God, and it's also the law of God, which is being established, and also it's a rapid transitioning for the world. Having said this, any of you that may watch some of my posts, and I'm so busy, I've been putting out worldwide the hailstorms, the flooding, the earthquake, tidal waves, to just small ones yet, but also the creeping of the oceans in areas, more notably South America, with Chile, with great waves without an earthquake being there coming in the past. So there are divine things that are also occurring because Earth Gaia herself is also undergoing a restructuring process. Um, Part of that involves uh, reality is energy as well. And let's say it is known, if any of you wish to do your research about energetic ley lines that are in certain places in a grid all around Earth. These ley lines were important for also holding the reality in place. And what had occurred prior to 2012, these energetic ley lines got diminished, distorted. They started to oscillate out of control. It's one of the main things with Gaia, with Earth, is every mineral that is in the ground, including gas and oil, has an electromagnetic charge. And that charge in all of these minerals are there for the at least very important reason. When it's underground, what it does, the energetic electromagnetic properties of it holds a ley line in place to stop it, an energetic ley line, to stop it from wavering and cause the Earth Gaia to wobble and to spin out of control. So it's part of the divine mechanism, not only to hold the planet Earth at such an angle to the sun and to ensure that it stays in an orbit like all of the galactic, all of the galaxy, and all of this. There is that divine order that planets don't collide and all of this because it is a divine energetic order. So that is the macro of the divine energetic order. It's why your sun, your moon, planets stay in the same uh, route every day, but also this order is in a micro order that is also directly connected above. So as above, so below. But what occurred with the below order because of the beast system, the draconian Orion matrix, and the reptilians and other nefarious forces, not nefarious beings that came to Earth, but also the actual evil that resides here as well. When you have a ley line, it is also responsible for producing energy into the reality, whether it be negative or positive. However, it is supposed to be positive, supporting the good, joyous heaven on earth, if you will. But what had occurred with these ley lines long ago, it was found out by the darkness in the evil, and they would mine they would mine deposits and extract resources out of there that would begin to not hold um, the ley lines in place, but also they would perform, more notably, child sacrifices on the ley lines. And what the reason for doing that is when from an innocent child, when you put them in great fear, there is an energy that comes from that, a fear energy. And when it was put into the ley lines, this is why a lot of the evil churches were positioned on ley lines that you have found bones in the basement of many children, that were killed and tortured over time, and the child sacrifices. The reason that they did these heinous, nefarious, sickening crimes was to also control the energetic reality. So by putting the innocent children into great fear by doing this, they compromised in the past the old um, ley line grid uh, prior to 2012. So since 2012, we are in a different reality, and we are constructing all the time a different positive grid that is cleaning out all of the darkness as well. Because this world where you are going, this beautiful earth that you have now, will rapidly transition into the heaven on earth scenario as promised. And gpms.world affects this in the most instant, beautiful way by utilizing instantly upon implementation all of the resources on earth, if you will, to grow gardens in the deserts, because all the technology and everything is already here, and all of the infrastructure to also clean up this planet in the blink of an eye, and to do, what is right and put it into pristine order very quickly worldwide, with trees planted everywhere. Because what GPMS does, it takes money out of the equation as being a hindering factor. So when money becomes just so abundant everywhere and is used for the good tool instantly, with what GPMS does, all of humanity are liberated into full wealth, full abundance, and full freedom. And at the same time, Gaia Earth is instantly all cleaned up as well. That was a long spiel, but just to uh, connect GPMS in there as the divine will of God to emancipate humanity, and to clean up the earth as we transition into the heaven on earth. Thank you, Sister Beatrice. I didn't anticipate that, but we got into it, and we got some other GPMS updates as we go forward.
Yes, thank you so much to describe everything, and also about the emotion and children and everything, because what I was looking a little bit over the internet, it seems that right now the General Flynn from the United States, it is also Kennedy Jr. and also Cash Patel. He is the new FBI Trump chief. They may be involved in disclosure about children. They prepare a public disclosure, or all disclosure, probably adrenochrome included, because here is the fear and everything that the Darnet use. So our case with Nia and children, what happened there? What could be an update? And also for all the parents together, or Dwight.
Right, I'll go quickly into that, but before I do, ones need to realize that the actual evil is always a chronic liar. It's what they are. So let's say if it looks like they're getting caught at something, they'll make up a story to shift the blame. So ones need to be very meticulous in how you look at things that come out in the news, because also the draconian matrix, they are notorious at also throwing their own to the sharks, if you will, if they have to save themselves. Because what the draconian beasts actually are is they are very selfish and they actually look out for number one. One of their codes is the uniform commercial code is for them how they run their businesses and how they interact with each other. So they have this universal I call it universal, but uniform code, but it's actually for the beast system itself. But it also is what encapsulated, enslaved all of humanity within that business system. Also, yeah, I won't go deeper into that. So, what's occurring with the sister Nya and her children, and why that is so important to GPMS right now? What we are dealing with is the legal system of Austria. And to keep this simple, what we are finding is that the legal system of Austria is so distorted with having um, so many contradictions, which absolutely nullifies and voids any of its justice system for the simple reasons that it says it adopts human rights with the UN Declaration of Rights. It also promotes a constitution that it has put many of these articles into, and then it has a legal system that has laws and acts. But to keep it simple for everyone, within this three-pronged justice system, it constantly contradicts itself. And any time when you have two different laws, two laws that are opposite of itself in a legal system, it nullifies and voids not only that law, but the rest of the system, because then it shows that the rest of the system is not equal. So it's inequality and it's injustice. It creates that distortion. And with GPMS is full equal justice. So, because you have distortions within everything is energy as well, but because you have distortions within legal systems, a distortion is also a bias, which is an injustice. So then what you will find within their legal system is then things will be biased oriented again, which is injustice and inequality. So what's occurring in Austria, they have put out a facade um, of allusions to, even the rest of the world, that they are um, how will I put it, that they are um, a lawful republic. But the truth is, no, there is no uh, country on earth that is an actual lawful republic or country at this time. Because again, you have to go with the human rights and the intrinsic rights are the core values that need to be respected, and the human rights and the intrinsic rights are the principles that foundations the rule of law for equal justice. So the moment that anyone's individual rights are violated in any country, it breaks the rule of law, and it actually means that it's not lawful what is going on. So quickly with Sister Nya, what we are doing is interphasing the divine law down into the legal system to block what their legal system is doing, but at the same time, we're educating and showing them as well. So it is if you will, a strenuous divine exercise, and it's very complicated with what we're doing, and it's why things are also extending through time with this. Uh, so what we are doing is actually energetically as well as lawfully interphasing the divine law down in to, we're using Austria as an example, but what occurs is that there is the ripple effect as well that goes worldwide, because the legal system that they have is the beast system. Again, it's the UCC and what keeps their system intact, that keeps humanity intact. So what we are now doing from the higher place is we are coming down, confronting their laws with some of their own laws to show how, in the least, that their laws are null and void and cannot have any effect. But at the same time, we are bringing in more of the intrinsic rights and the divine law. What I need to say is that with GPMS.world, with the intrinsic rights, this has already been renowned worldwide, the UN Declaration of Rights and what have you. This has been a battle that has been ongoing for years, but it's been instrumental and seated here for this time, because the more that recognizes the true value and rule of law of the human rights and the intrinsic rights, then they are seated and equipped with not only enough in their being and their consciousness to facilitate the rapid emergence into GPMS dot world and the replacement system. Go ahead, Brother Sergey.
Yeah, hi everyone. I would like just to add to what the brother Rick said. It's like all countries are corporation, and what I heard, I'm not so sure if this is true or not, but they all register in the Vatican. So Vatican, like a pope, 1,000 years ago, I don't know how long ago. So everybody registers there, their corporation, and people basically don't have a rights. They just have a responsibilities. They say in us we have a rights for this, right for that, but usually when it's time is come for some, I don't know, pressure on the people, your rights is gone. They saying you have a right of freedom, but basically no rights of freedom. You cannot move anywhere. Borders, and for example, last pandemic, like they saying, it was no rights. They just close everybody in the house, close the businesses, and just stay everybody by our command. So no rights. And how long we gonna wait for, I don't know, for this kind of old system to stay in here? We need to move to the Divine-gpms.world, where we have all of the rights. So we can move freely, we can choose how we live, we can be, I don't know, abundance and just happy. It's what I want to add. Thank you.
Yes, Serhi. So right now they try to move via the air another pandemic, and they want to mimic again everything to come back. And at the same time, right now we see Trump also on Vatican, like the Pope on the news. And he started to speak about the world, not only the United States. And we see also the vote on election Canada. It was probably affected. And Mark Carney, how Rick said yesterday in Romania, is there. He may switch anytime in something good. We do not know, but this time the Alberta updated their referendum bill, the 54, for division. And there are two ways for division. So it's about the West to divide practically inside of Canada and outside of Canada. Inside of Canada, it's about the West to divide from the East or Alberta itself, but I don't believe that this may move forward really. In Alberta, in the south, there is no really water, access to the water, and with the oil and gas company, you know what will happen with all the energy. So this is not about the future, so Alberta may not survive by itself at this time. There may be probably a move with all the west of Canada. But at the same time, there is more and more speaking about Canada, the 51 states, and we had also university teacher, they were coming in hours after the election day in Canada, and they started to speak that Alberta has to move like the 51 states of the United States, or anyway to divide from the East. It is the time. So it is a huge pressure, and I saw also at the same time on your Facebook, Rick, I saw that the one to blame for everything that happens with all the vote and everything, it is those not assisting to ratify the agreement of Divine-gpms.world. So I try to get their attention, to the people attention towards GPMS again. They understand that this is something like the globalism or something like, so they have the borders on their mind. I was extremely surprised that even this kind of separation of Alberta started inside of the Facebook of Native Indians in Alberta, the South tribe. That right now I started to question more what happened really on 2022, you know, with everything that they tried to do there, like divine law and everything, and by the end was even not, they did not let GPMS to speak. So when they were finally able to gather, so it is a huge pressure in Alberta. Yes, Serhi.
Oh yeah, I just want to add to the previous election, what was held in Canada like last Monday. So I spoke with lots of friends and people. They are so upset. All of them just voted for the other party, not the liberals, but the conservators. And they so upset. The election was manipulated. They so believed to the new party and stuff like that. And I'm saying to them, you know what? Your conservators just sold out you. They just make a deal with like a liberals to let the liberals rule again. And you people just so believe in the conservators. They just sold you out. That's it. The leader of the conservators next day said they want to try, they will be still like in a direct opposition. They want to try to make everything right. They want to like try to make the laws right and stuff like that. But they never just say we're gonna fight for the election. We just lose it, but it's not right. They just give up. They just give up in the next couple hours. And basically after the election polls didn't close yet, but the news already announced the liberals won. So it was manipulated so badly and so hardly, but it's right to the face to the people. People, who are you believing for? Even if you believe, like to the liberals, they are lying. Even if you believe to the conservator, they sold you out. Who are you believing for? Just vote for the Divine-gpms.world and just that's it. Forget about them. And most of them just trying to, oh, we're gonna run away from Canada. We need to move. We're gonna emigrate to US and stuff. Oh no, we're gonna move to Alberta and next to US. You're gonna run around all your life. It's easy to vote for like 3 minutes to submit your vote in the gpms.world, divine-gpms.world, and run around all your life. It's so funny. I just want to tell everybody, just go vote. You can vote all the time. It's not, doesn't have to be Monday election or 4 years election. Just vote now. That's it. Thank you.
And something very funny, it's also that right now with the Canada, 51 states, Ukraine, 52 states, Mexico, 53 states and everything, right now they started to see that probably the border will be not there anymore. So something is shaken, then GPMS cannot be considered as the globalists are doing, because right now also everything that White Hats proposed, started to propose somehow, it is about something worldwide. Yes, Rick.
Thank you. What was I going to say? It was something with what Brother Sergey said. Yeah. With any political parties, they all go to lunch and bed together, if you will, and it's all the game, like the good cop, bad cop you see on TV, and with the false hopes and the campaign promises, but it's all a staged thing to keep humanity enslaved. And it's earlier again today with the simplicity of GPMS for the consciousness and for the world. Yet, how is it able to evade, the people? Meaning that they know how you vote and how a majority rules, and with the present system worldwide, they know that it's corrupt. So, what is the problem with them? They're running, yes, it's an evaluation to say they're running around with blindfolds on, trying to chase their tail, if you will. And it's so simple with GPMS, yet it eludes them. That they cannot see it. And this is one of has been one of the ongoing um, uh, questions with GPMS. How much more simpler can we give it to them? And really, no, we cannot give it any simpler as it is. It is already logical with the worldwide vote and a majority rules and bring in a whole new replacement system. It doesn't get any easier than that. But of course, we give it two ones, and even but that's part of the same old complaining, if you will, what we're doing with this. And eventually they will overcome it. This is a good thing with Canada, and I see there's an election coming up here in Romania, a two-part, I think on the 5th and or 4th, 5th and the 18th. But again, with every election, what we see is more and more divinely have to lose faith in their governments because they need to lose that so that they can gain the faith in gpms.world. So it is a process. It's a painstakingly process for us, to have the patience, but it's part of also the overall divine process that they need to see the actual evil, and most of the world does not know there is an actual evil here. They think it's just bad people. They do not know the higher truths, but during the course of things like this, they begin to awaken and know more of the higher truth. Uh, so with GPMS, I'll just add in, uh, I had this one thing written down just to touch on. So, currently we have the children theme and saving the children, if you will, from the clutches of the evil and darkness. But also at the same time, GPMS.world creates the world where no children are ever abducted or taken away or harmed again. And one thing we're seeing with many of the children that have gone missing, and believe me, in Europe, there's so many as well. So what the darkness also does, it creates wars, like in the Ukraine, to get refugees, children refugees, Syria, another country, Afghanistan, all of Africa. So what they wish to do is what makes it easier for the other evils in the other countries to get children is the refugee influx that they create, not only by wars, by uh, poverty, let's say all of Africa, because the beast system is designed to do that, to create great hardship, to get people to move, to get people to begin to migrate, to look for something better, to live and survive. But at the same time, what it does, it offers children up to be taken very easily. And one thing that you'll see that is prevalent, you'll see the countries that do report statistics on it, that there are refugee children that they have registered in a certain country and they'll just go missing. They won't show up anywhere else. But what is going on the deeper level is that these children are actually being taken, and it's so easy for a refugee child to be kidnapped and taken versus a child that is in a family. With the children that are in families now, and what we're beginning to see with some of these moms in during the course of what we're doing with Sister Nya and worldwide, bringing mostly the moms together, that the Child Protective Services has taken their children. What we're seeing is that these are divine awakened feminine as well. And what has occurred is these children, because they are advanced, they become a prize, and they become more valuable on the dark markets, as I mentioned before. So you see, what we see is that the evil and darkness is so desperate at getting these children that they are manipulating, creating stories. They are framing the parents, whatever they can do to get the children. But what's occurring, it's becoming more obvious, that reveals and exposes the actual ring and trafficking that's going on, but it also begins to implicate the governments and their levels of bureaucracy and their agencies as well. So it is also bringing out more of the truth. But again, this current beast system, what you have worldwide, the capitalistic system, is also what facilitates for children to be taken much easier, as I said. So again, the B system is designed to create all of these problems, but GPMS is designed to eliminate all problems instantly. So it is the ultimate solution. And we see with the UCC, that is what I call a draconian operating memorandum, just for how they conduct businesses and what have you. And Brother Sergey brought in about the Vatican. I think you mentioned about Trump as well, Sister Beatrice, and with the Vatican. At the highest level of the darkness upon Earth, if you will. Their police force, what they have is a Jesuit police force. And what will occur as you go through the levels of trying to get justice in the past, when one was able to overpower a judge at a lower court and still able to use the laws, the higher laws, and as they went up to the Supreme Court or what have you, when these cases were lost by the draconian legal system, the last level that would come in would be the Jesuit police, if you will. And they would come in as a last resort to attempt to negotiate, if you will. And because the Jesuit police are at the top of their legal system, the draconian legal system. So when one has successfully beat all of their, usually a tri-level court system, and have gone to the top, then it's the Jesuits that will come in, but the public do not know they exist, to attempt to negotiate, because as one went through the system of legal system, it's not even justice. Once one has found all of this out, then they become an actual threat to the nefarious Jesuit order. So then, as a last resort, the Jesuit order will try to make a compromise or a negotiation. And usually in the past, with individuals that succeeded with getting up there, then that sometimes they are bought off by incredible amounts of money, or they're given a sanctuary. And what these ones do is singularly just step back from the system, and the system remained intact. But that was in the past, because what has occurred and what is still occurring, more and more are going to the top levels, if you will, to they are not seeing the Jesuits now because there is no negotiation. So the divine ones, once we go to the top level, if you will, and we crash all of this divinely, there is no other higher evil force to keep everything intact. So what I'm saying is the UCC, that it's all breaking down, it's all crumbling now, and it's got holes and cracks in it. It's like a cracked egg, if you will, that's peeling and breaking open. However, again, it still is this process with it. But what I need to say is we're getting very close, and I do not have a time frame on how long it will take, other than with all the signs, we are getting close, and we persistently and consistently work at it. And we do know and see it's having the effects, and the beauty of this, any lawful instruments that we may need as well, they magically can appear and do appear. And we see other divine ones coming into the picture in this great time of unity, because as this old world is revealed and destructed, the new is being created. And one other thing, in the past, with every good intention movement, if you will, it was always infiltrated by the darkness. And what I will say, to some degree, GPMS as well was attempted to be infiltrated to some degree. However, GPMS is ascertained, it is the will of God. So what occurs in here becomes lessons for others as well. But this is part of the reason why we had to begin a new GPMS website, why we begun to have new groups as well, because we have just gone through a purification stage that the past negative energetic imprint that had got in there has to be cleansed. So we cleanse that by just leaving it behind, and those that need to deal with it, if there was any souls, good souls that get caught up in that negative residue, that is their self to deal with. There is no judgment by us on them. It's their individual judgment that they must go through the natural course if they're able to redeem themselves. It's nothing with us. Our instruction, as we are doing, is to take GPMS forward, maintain the integrity of GPMS, and keep this forward momentum and keep our focus on this. So, also by, everything is energetic as well. But Father says, no, not to go in there. All right, Brother Sergey.
Oh yeah, I just would like to add to this Vatican stuff. Yeah, I don't think like a Trump showed this funny picture that he is next Pope. It looks like they just confront each other. Like Trump administration want to confront Vatican. Vatican would like to resist, and they're just playing one with each other. But it's good for us because let's keep on fighting. We're gonna watch, and we're gonna promote gpms.world all around, and you guys gonna expose each other around. So it's good for us, and just good luck for them. Another thing I would like to add, it's like for Pope, yeah, he's gone. It's like rest in peace. It's good, but the other stuff, it's like I hear it like conspiracy theories told. He's not gone just completely. I don't know if whatever he had a soul, but he's gone to the like a cyber, how it's called, like cyber universe, whatever. He's gone to the number. He's not here like a soul. He's not anywhere like a soul. He just, I don't know how it's called in English, better to understand. I explained to you guys. It's like he was moved to the internet and he stayed like a number somewhere. So he's basically, I don't know, nowhere, but it doesn't mean anything. All right. Thank you.
Yes, Rick.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Before I begin, Sister Beatrice, someone is changing the translation. Does that box come up on your screen?
Yes, it is Liliana Shojdian because she wants to
Oh,
see everything
do I
in Romania
do?
language.
Oh, she can. Great. So what do I do? Just say save, or
No,
what do I do with this box?
it's just to look if the English is there, then say okay, because you'll need English, not another language.
All right. If I just press save, if I did something, please remind me.
Yes.
So,
What I would like to add, it's also that with Divine-gpms.world, we have Rick George with us, that it is the High Priest of Melchizedek Order. And I hope that this time the White Hats will hear that and they will start to come, because we are speaking about children. So it's like their territory a little bit with adrenochrome and everything and the law and everything. Then they will start to see also another way, not only the common law, the civil law, so they will start to find that universal natural laws are much better. And probably this will be a huge opportunity for us to come together. So the invitation is here. And what I would like to add a little bit about Alberta, because also he said right now the patriots, they are invited to immigrate in Alberta. It's like, to move all the time, and after that to find you like immigrant. And we're saying that the tribe on the south, the Native Indian, that right now they propose also the separation of the West from the East and everything. So they should remember that universal natural law, it's all about no borders. So they know that, but they should remember and to remain on the same path. And also, if Rick remembers, some years ago, we had a meeting about Canada, about the convoy Canada, where somebody spoke also about the constitution with natural law that was also prepared by the tribes, and also a psychologist worldwide recognized that said, no, you cannot present this constitution of natural law because the people are not prepared yet. So GPMS passed through all this year and showed the universal laws all the time, and we just gather consents and move forward. But at the same time, in the other hand, what other people that they prepare a constitution with natural law for Canada did. Right now, they are speaking about division of Canada referendum and to separate the West and migrate the patriots all here in Alberta. And after that, they are asking you, so Beatrice, why are you here in Canada? You never hear because the land here, it's the land of Native Indians. You were not told before when you immigrated or what's about. So it's a little bit like a takeover. So we should remember we are all equal. It's not about that somebody has the land on their hand. It's not about that. The land is for everyone. We should not immigrate exactly as he said. We can remain on our places and to solve the situation from there. GPMS is here with us, and because the people right now, they are speaking about communities and everything, and they associate right now the words like self-sufficiency and community. Universal laws, it's about abundance, so it's much more than self-sufficiency. You do not need only what you need, so it's about abundance. It's something very, very different, and with universal natural law, divine-gpms.world, worldwide referendum, we can make abundance also in Alberta and everywhere in the world. A little bit on the solar energy. That Ernest said we can use the solar energy, and Alberta started to specialize on, but the solar started to disappear. It was covered. Then finally, through the ascension process, started to rise again and to be back as the sun was in the past on 2023. But until at that time, we had a lot of professionals invested on what was called alternative energy, because Alberta is specialized on energy, and to provide everything that could be for the people to use the solar energy, but the solar was covered, so it was not possible to be used until 2023. So the oil and gas companies, with everything that is coming forward, even that the project of free energy, it's a little bit move for the next years. It's not right now in place, but it is another sort of energy that will come, and this will affect the oil and gas industry. And just to remember also that the south of Alberta has water. And what I would say right now, they try to move this division of Canada, and they gather the people for the pension funds. I will let also Rick to speak a little bit on the pension funds, because the pension funds, should we need these pension funds, Rick, especially when all the new technology coming, it's about cell regeneration. And we have also GPMS with pension funds that is not necessary to gather your pension funds to triple your private pension funds. Should we need these pension funds? Because right now this is all the APP movement in Alberta about. and they are here to
What is
what, yeah.
what I say with the GPMS.world, soon as we're in that, no one needs any pension funds. It's not how it works. Everyone receives their money above the comfortable level to exist. They don't need to save for any future security because security is always in the moment that everyone has everything they need and immediate access to it. So it's a whole entire different world. With pension funds, if you will, uh, I could say so much about that from the old. However, I just gave with GPMS how it's not needed. In between now and the GPMS dot world, what I suggest for ones, it's each individual's choice, but it's a great idea to not worry about contributing to pension funds. If you need your money in the now, you keep it in the now, and you also may wish to begin to cash out. The trickery of RSPs, RRSPs as well in the past, what ones will find if you do the math on it, you will find that it actually cost you more money uh, because of the simple reason of inflation that is not factored in when the government was selling these things to you a long time ago. And also, any that when you begin to withdraw it, they'll hold 10 or 20% typically in the past. And when you factor in inflation, but also importantly, you need to know that with your past RSP the deductions it would give you on your income tax was only 25% in the past. So when you start factoring all this in and do the math, you will actually find that it cost you money actually with the RSP. So it was a fraudulent trap by the government, if you will, just to take more money off of your retirement in the old world. With the pension funds, again, uh, the pension funds is more so by the government a guise for when, how will I put this? Your pension funds are traded worldwide in all of the financial markets. So this also gives you a bona fide status of being a worldwide shareholder of all of the worldwide infrastructure for this simple reason, because they took your pension funds to keep this simple, and it was because of the investment of these pension funds that also allowed companies like airline companies to build things and all of this. So it actually technically and lawfully gave you ownership of all of the public infrastructure worldwide, which includes airplane companies, flight, what's uh, all of the public transportation. You own it all, and also the gas and oil companies. You actually own all of that. So in our quick transitioning with GPMS.world, you don't pay for any of the fossil fuels that will be used in a short term as we quickly transition to the green technology and the new technology as well. So you own everything, and this is the truth with it. So the pension funds, yeah, uh, it's just been an old part of the old system, and really and truthfully for all of you, when my consciousness has to entertain that old right now, it begins to hurt actually, because it's old, it's sick, it's negative, it's draconian, it's the beast system, and it doesn't resonate and not in alignment. So for me to go, and also I've been having Sister Nya and I has been having the same sort of thing. We're breaking the system down, but once we get into the depths to look at how ridiculous their laws are, and you can also, because we're powerful empaths, you can also feel the confusion that is imprinted by other dear souls that try to figure it out to help themselves. So there's that energetic imprint. And so, like with this, so, with the pensions, just to wrap this up quickly, what I suggest is for ones just to be concerned, make sure you got cash money out. I always say this because it's also possible that there can be a data systems wipe, meaning that if let's take the current big outage in Spain and southwestern Europe, what occurred with their if an actual data processing center for the internet would have been hit and put out and capacitors burnt out, it was very possible that a lot of data could be lost with the bank, meaning that anyone that had digital bank accounts, that when it come back online, your bank account could have come up as zero. So, we are in this divine transitioning, but it's important for ones to know that everything that you do have is hanging by a thread at the mercy of those that are in control of the internet, the banking, and the government. So, having said this again, what I always suggest, is to have some cash out for any immediate things. What will occur is that, as you've seen so many times in the past, if the internet was to go out for a month, you have everyone or mostly everyone assisting each other, and your only thing that would be accepted at any store, because you need to know that your paymasters with your cards, none of that would work. So everyone knows that. But the physical cash will work. And having said this, also with gpms.world, what we say, it will be both a digital system, but also the cash is so important and it becomes the individual's choice. So as you take ownership of the financial routing system, we also take the lawful ownership of all of the physical money presses, and you want to keep that perhaps for a short term in circulation until all of humanity knows they don't need money at all, and you're not carrying paper or plastic around in your pocket because everything is free and shared as it should be. I'll stop there.
Yes, Serhi.
Yeah, I just would like to add what the brother Rick said about cash on hand and outages of electricity in Europe, like Portugal, Spain, Germany, a little bit France. So it's like they basically they know how to how to control their own electricity system. So they just have everything set up, but they blame in the sun. So sun just causes a flare and the electricity is gone. But I don't believe it's true. It's maybe they are playing games, already doing the trainings, how it's gonna be as soon as the electricity gonna gone, or other way, it's probably some AI hacked the system and AI is now playing games with them. So basically, they are not competent. They don't know the cause, what is happened, why, and who's did it, and they are not competent because anytime AI can hack their system. And probably, I think, strongly believe it's AI because they already show us in the movies, for example, movie like a Skynet, AI can hack all the system and cause a disaster all over the world. So we don't need to wait for them, for their disasters and for their like big fall. We have to vote for gpms.world, Divine-gpms.world, and take all of this in our hands because they don't know what they are doing. Thank you.
Yeah, a little bit today. More people from Canada. They've also reached our Zoom room. Hi, Dave. It was also a discussion about BC and also all the West to divide from the Canada. But what I can see also on the Facebook as proposal, it is the west of Canada where sometimes BC it is inside, sometimes it's not. So, you know, the discussion right now after all the election Canada and everything. So what it is, the air in the BC on the freedom movement right now after everything that happened with the election in Canada. What is happening there, what the people are thinking, how they want to move forward. They may start soon to find also, there are also other options, not only the vote inside of the system as political parties, or they hope still on the political parties to solve everything.
Was that question, I think, directed towards Brother Dave, wasn't it, Sister Beatrice?
Yes, but he's mute right now. I don't know. Yeah, right now he may speak.
Well, fundamentally, the problem we have before us all is people marching to the polling station. And I can expand on that and expand on what Brother Rick was saying as well with these, the allegiance to the old system is we have to face the cold, hard truth. The whole cold, hard truth is represented both in the progressive numbers of GPMS in the Western world, and it's also represented by the fact that for 4 of the last 5 years, we've run a truth center where we've had 2 large walls, top to bottom, full of information. And we've had videos on BitChute and also on the Liberty platform here in Canada. And so as I've observed the last year since becoming aware of GPMS, we've had a sign on the highway. We live on a busy tourist corridor. We have 3,500 cars a day going by every day. I have the GPMS sign out there. And we also have the great benefit of having a retail outlet where I can drift into conversations when the opportunity presents and introduce the GPMS vehicle to people. Now, the cold, hard truth there in the last year is that I've barely made a budge as far as the Canadian progression goes. And I know some of you are feeling that same sentiment. And so the reality is that power comes with truth, and acknowledging these truths is acknowledging the propaganda system. Hannah Arendt, a World War II survivor, wrote The Origins of Totalitarianism. Matthias Desmond most recently came out with the concepts of mass formation and mass psychosis. And all you have to do is look before you, and it's walking the streets every day, all day. Even within our particular local freedom movement, my email subscriber list, I have people continuing to comply with the old system. We can't comply with the old system and create a new system at the same time. So these are the truths, the cold, hard facts. And I don't mean to be negative, but sometimes the truth is negative, especially when you're on a planet saturated by falsehood. And so once we acknowledge that, then we have to look at, well, what is the vehicle that is going to move this thing forward? And I put out a video 2 or 3 couple of videos ago on the Edgar Cayce maps, which is supported by another futurist named Gordon Michael Scallion. And that aligning with Deagle report that came out a couple of years ago and was quickly whisked away because of its sort of negative connotation in that, we're going to lose about half the population. And so we have to put all these things together and recognize that that yes, we are moving to establish the kingdom of heaven on earth. The Holy Bible tells us that. Yes, we are moving to eternal light and life. There are 52 references in the Urantia book. It's the exact same thing. There is no doubt in my mind that these are occurrences, they are happening. And by way of the Deagle report is that this cataclysmic somewhat ending is going to occur in 2025. So that's good news for us, especially as we've been punching hours and documents out there for 4 or 5 years and seeing little results from it. And so what else can we do to further and enhance this supposed cataclysmic event? Well, number one, we can recognize that anybody who's aligning with the truth and with Father God, Prime Creator, there's no need to worry, because we're here to assemble this task. We're here to carry through. We're here to produce the kingdom of heaven. So that's the first thing. The second thing is to just acknowledge the fundamentals of what exactly occurs during this year of major, let's call it forced transition, because the alignment with the old world is by way of their own free will. They are forcing the old world, and so Father God and Mother Earth, to preserve her own integrity, will be proceeding with their own plan. And so while I am somewhat, disillusioned with the efforts I've put out in 5 years, there are still very, very, very few people, as I understand, as I observe, that even understand that there are no bugs in the air. That's the second biggest hoax on this planet. And I have the data going back to 1765 that proves it. Yet we still continue to run around scared because there are bugs in the air and they're going to get us. And so we have to go take poisons to get around it. So that's just one example. Like I say, normally I would be disillusioned. I understand that the GPM's vehicle is a flawless entity to establish the kingdom of heaven on earth. It's just that, unfortunately, GPMS may have to wait to pick up the pieces once Mother Gaia and Father has declared that we've had enough of this ridiculous old world oppression and nefarious damage and to the human race. And so the other good example, of course, is just look up in the sky any day. And, they're spreading poisons over the whole planet. And yet still, folks are not willing, to a large degree, to acknowledge that, acknowledge the falsehood, and come on board. So the only other thing I would say along that string is that the ET visitations have happened as per Brother Rick's proclamation approximately 10 days ago, and that will proceed in an enhanced manner. The extraterrestrial benevolent influence that is amongst us is a critical factor. It requires that we also stand up and join them. So that is happening. There are millions of us. We were just not hearing it on the mainstream news. And so to encourage the ET collaboration is the other thing we can do by opening our minds and our hearts and our doors for any such occurrences, and to be the next humans that are graced with their presence in their life in a very real way. And so that is backed up in the Bible, because they are called the sons of God, and the Urantia book calls them divine personalities. So they are amongst us now. That's one of the things we can do. Other than that is to stay alert and recognize that things like the 3 days of darkness or whatever is there for us to push this thing right through the barrier. And I will end by saying that, yes, 2025 is the year. Whether GPMS picks up the pieces on the rear end or whether it gets punched through by divine miracle, either way, I will still continue to hand out the tickets. I had a young pregnant couple in yesterday. Those are always my target audience because they're bringing in a new one into this world. And so there's the GPMS vehicle for the young one and for my 2 and 4-year-old grandchildren as well. So in any case, power does come with truth. And we must stand firmly with the truth and recognize what's before us, even if it doesn't look so great. So thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, Dave, to speak again about the 3 days. I hope that this might happen soon during the 2025 years. Yes, Rick?
Oh, thank you, Sister Beatrice. Yeah, with the 3 days, we keep seeing at least single days. You know, what I note on this, we are getting the indications and the signs of that. And just last night, a dust storm, I believe, in northern Iran or Saudi Arabia, the sky went dark as well, and in the day. And this is again an indication of, not only that, so many other indications that we are, yes, nearing the beginning, we'll say, the end of the old and the beginning. So these are definitely occurring, as what Brother Dave alluded to there, that the signs are not only in the skies or on the land with the water everywhere, and they cannot be denied nor refuted. The more widespread they become. Just over the last week, for example, the hailstorms prevalent all around the world, and causing car windows to be smashed out, and it's a and these things were mentioned as signs long ago, so there is no denying the facts. The signs would come, just preceding the new beginning. What I was, no, I have another bit of information. I was going to put it out last night from Father, but not yet. And I wanted to put it here, but I'm told no. But in the future, I'll put it out. I can say it has to do with what Brother Dave was saying about nature and partly of how the old, more destruction to the old very quickly. I'll just leave it like that vaguely. But what I wish to share quickly, Sister Yolanda is not on here, but I wish to share great news. She is in, or I think she might be back in Spain now, but she was in Peru. She did a radio show there, and what she has shared with I yesterday, she has about 10,000 Peruvian consents to come in. Plus, she is doing, I believe, a weekly Peruvian show, which should bring more in. So she was very successful in a missionary approach, if you will, going into, you could say, perhaps a somewhat remote area, but not so remote, because you see the beautiful 10,000 number area she went in, and they were open to it, when she began to explain. So, what we're seeing, I think, to bridge that gap, Brother Dave, is that we do need more missionaries, of GPMS that are GPMS and are the full integrity of GPMS with its law and its temporary monetary policy. So when we have a missionary going in and presenting that, not only are we seeing the effects with Sister Yolanda, but with Sister Lodi that will bring on soon. Um, Also her efforts, but also, in Thailand, the way that they did it as well. So we know how it can work, but again, it depends upon the area. If we look at you need to look at the culture of the area does play a big difference. So, for example, in India, where our brothers are from, a lot of that is making money, and that's where many are oriented towards, even though there is great hardship there. But when you look at Peru, the opportunities to make money there is non-existent as well. So it becomes more community oriented and sharing and with community and working together. So when you compare these two principles in two different areas, you get the different results, as we're seeing with our India brothers and sisters. Although the biggest population is in India of any individual world, one or any individual nation, 1.5 billion, and over 85% of them are in lack and some degree or poverty, but some degree of lack. Yet we see very few numbers there where Sister Yolanda is able to walk into Peru and boom, it's a hit with 10,000 consents, a radio show, and it's what the people were looking for. But also there's so many uh, attributes to having ones prepared for this as well. Through their culture, through their heritage, through their legends and their teachings. Certain cultures have been um, prepared more and have adhered more and kept intact, their heritage, if you will. And within that, many important things were there. What I wish just to touch on is the psychological programs and conditioning, what Brother Dave just touched on. And this is very important, what I'm about to speak about as well in relation to the white hat psyops and also the RV psyops. And I call both of these psyop programs because that is actually what they are. If we take the RV program that's been going on for years that have seduced so many good souls into believing that it was a reality, but it's it's not. And we've had some that come out of this that realize, it's connected to Jasera and Nasera. They realize that it is part of the illusions from the masters of darkness. But there are many that are still in it that have not seen through the illusion yet of it. So having said this, what you have, Brother Dave, is what we see. You had ones that awakened in consciousness to such a degree that they could entertain more of a utopian reality. So then they got kind of sucked into the psychological program of the RV, but we have many good souls in there yet, but it's all just a program to keep them complacent, to control them. And also it's an energetic extraction where they're being manipulated by it. They don't know it, but it's breaking down. With the white hat concept, that is also, and with the patriots, if you will, the top patriots, that is a psychological operations program as well to keep one's dormant and complacent, and again a uh, to have a complacency thinking that there is something out there that is doing something for the people. Now, this is not to demean any good components of what could be considered white hats. But what I need to say is the head functioning of the white hats is not for the people. It's an attribute of the beast to psychologically keep ones into the false premise of thinking that someone else is doing something for them while they continue with their mass genocide operation, as I mentioned, about warp speed, what began 4 or 5 or 6 years ago, which was part of the mass genocide attempt on humanity. So having said this, you have many good souls that are caught up yet into those PSYOP programs. Now, this leads me to what Brother Barrett has sent me today. I had to watch, I usually don't watch YouTubes, but this one was about 18 minutes long. It's out of the UK, and it involved, to keep it just simple, the points that stood out in it is that many are dying in the UK, their children are dying, they're getting evicted from their homes. So, they have a lot of pressure on them. When they began to speak up, the police are arresting them and locking them up, if you will. And so it's a very serious situation there that is not, of course, hitting the mainstream media. But with this, in this video I watched this morning, that these people are standing up, these souls, and one thing that they mentioned right at this time is that they know the military is compromised in the UK as well. But what they have is about 15,000 military in the UK and about 1,000 Marines that are ready to leave the military to support the people. So this group, I don't know how big it is. When I looked at the YouTube, I think there was around 7,200 views on it then, but I think it was from 2 days ago. But what's important with this, again, the good military to assist the people, what happens is that the governments then cuts off their funding. And this has been the same. We have an example in Canada in the past with a good RCMP, went to leave because he could not consciously be part of all the unlawful acts during the pandemic, but they cut him off, I believe, no money. So he had to rely on the public for support. So he was able to support his family. So this is a predicament, if you will, that yes, there are good military, whatever label you wish to put on them, but the real truth is that the dark has their military to protect the corporate system of government or whatever it may be. But importantly, again, to bring this out, and I may do a post about this. I've been so busy. I may put their YouTube out and put a post about it, and also give them, if they don't know already, gpms.world as well, because they're actually fighting, for their homes, their children, and they're being locked up. And they also, with the UCC code, was also in this, and how with their interactions with the judges, and coming to know that the judges also didn't know, or at least one judge didn't know the law. So very quickly you can see the synchronicities, how it is also energetically connected to what we're doing with GPMS at this time, but also with GPMS. Now, with the military, again, to back up what I've said about the PSYOP program of the white hat concept, it's not only in in the US and many believing this. So we're now seeing in the UK that there really is not that white hat component support what they say it's there. We've also seen it, and it's not here in Romania. We also know it was not in Russia. I believe I can also extend out far enough to say that it's in the Philippines, it's not there. And also where the psychological program was running wild about white hats in Australia, I believe it should be at a time that that truth or that illusion is also beginning to break down in Australia. It should be when one's realized, the actual truth. And really, when I say these are psyop programs, anyone that is objective, able to put themselves into the neutrality and look at the deeds and look at what is actually happening, it becomes very easy for any to see what it actually is. So it's important to know this. Also in the US, for any watching this, with gaining your sovereignty status through the UCC as well. Many were being arrested, and it's not accepted. And there were many things that were going on as well, with ones making fictitious claims, monetary claims within the UCC, and gaining their saying they had their sovereignty, but it's now the beast machine is ejecting those out, also locking some of these up. Now it depends upon the individual, but it's also being put out that sovereignty, if you will, in their world is a conspiracy, a theory, so that they're labeling the sovereign ones as sick, but they're also using it as an excuse to lock them up, the genuine sovereign ones. So again, this is so important for anyone in the US that's watching this, not only the US, Canada. You got to unite together with GPMS.world, and we got to replace the entire beast system. So this needs to be done. So the UK, I'll be reaching out to them if Brother Barrett hasn't already done so, because it is very important without saying why. Sister Lodi, um, do you want to give us another update on the Philippines? You just put in 5,000 consents yesterday, I believe, and we're so grateful for all of the work you're doing in our Philippine, brothers and sisters there that know what needs to be done, as well as everyone else. Do you wish to give us an update?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Uh, those recently added to the website were also from the Tagbanwa tribe in Palawan, and I am currently still on the list that I have been encoding since I went there last February. And with the chieftain, the logo you were asking before, he had already shown me the logo, but I'm still waiting for the copy that he's supposed to scan so that I can send it through email. And also with the write-ups about the Tagbanwa tribe, which is the original locals in the province, in the whole province of Palawan. So currently, with the brothers and sisters from Palawan, they have been sending, in fact, today, uh, a new list of names was sent by Sister Nelia. So I'm practically busy with the encoding and helping the brothers and sisters from Palawan putting on their names on the website. And thank you also for Sister Nya's help because she's the one who's importing those names. So that's why the 5,000 was added today. That's all I can say. Thank you.
I have one question, Sister Lodi. So the tribe, tribe or nation that was from Palawan, we had added, was it 10,000? So is this 5,000 that just come in now means that this nation is 15,000 and
Yes,
growing that has come into
yes,
GPMS? Perfect. Yeah, yeah.
yes. And
All right.
more are
Yeah. So
coming
we'll
in.
and more. Good. We can increase
Yeah.
that number. That is beautiful. I didn't look at our indigenous sovereign communities to see if it was added, but thank you. Yeah, so that's huge. Uh, Great. So I'll just anyone else wish to speak, I'll just fill in a gap. Upcoming sometime in the future, we will have a panel 72 meeting of the vetted GPMS guardians and representatives. And it's looking like I cannot say a date because it's going to be also oriented around a presentation of divine law, a presentation in education to the public about the importance of divine law, how very simple it is, but also the intrinsic human rights part of this. And one of the divine reasons for this is what we're seeing worldwide is that people don't even know their rights. And this is part of the problem with getting through the cognitive dissonance, if you will. They do not even know their rights. They do not know their worth. And I believe it'd be very important for us um, as a panel 72 as a presentation of that to give to the world to let them know that they have all of these rights and that the actual beast system has robbed all of this from them. So we can do an education information um, session with that as well, but also show that on the panel 72 that we have, let's say, accredited ones knowledgeable in human rights and divine law to show that we actually have this lawful structure and the integrity of it to be the mainframe for the divine law on earth as well. So it needs a representation and by all of us genuine vetted GPMS representatives coming forward to present that, it shows the people that we are actually much more than just what have you. So I just want to mention that. Anyone else? Beatrice, I'll hand it back to you, sister. Thank you.
Yes, it's excellent. Thank you so much for that, because yes, we need a presentation of divine law. It's still not well seen by the people, the simplicity and how effective can be inside of what the people are calling a system that I started also to say is just our environment. It's not exactly as a system where the divine law has everything inside to protect us from house and to put in order everything. So yes, this will be a huge impact. This may have a huge impact on everything, especially right now that if we see right now after all election in the United States that touch the human race on November 2024, it is about 6 months, and the people need to see a little bit what really is happening as economic, what is called today as economic. I will call more like environment in general. And I still cannot see unity. I still cannot see abundance. I still cannot see peace. So let GPMS to do that and let the divine law to come and embrace everything and the new world to start. So to be there. Yes, yes, Sarhi.
Yeah, I would like to add about USA. It's like about the economics. Sure, Trump is the president. He said it's going to be like a bright future for US, America first, America that, America this. But right now, in the US ports, it's shortages of the ships. So ships from China on other places of the world are not coming. And people just already in a panic mode. What's going on? It's like tariffs is working, or we're going to pay for everything extra, or we're just going to be short of everything. So lots of ships staying in the South China Sea and all other ports. And it's like, I don't know, it's a red mode for the US citizen, for the US country. What's going to be next? It's one thing, it's good. Probably they're going to give the replicators to the people, because a couple of weeks ago, some of the Trump administration said we have a new technology, we can control space and time and whatever. We have it, everything. We're just gonna, okay, if you have it, give it. Other things, they just control fall down of the USA. We'll see what's gonna happen, but it's like some panic mode for the US citizen. Keep cash on hand. Don't trust the, I don't know, your administration, because something bad is coming. Okay, thank you.
The replicators, if they start to put available the replicators for everyone, we may probably pass directly on no financial system. I don't think so. But I have like objective, this one will be amazing, but just I do not think so. Yes, yes, Rick.
Oh, thank you. And thank you, Brother Sergey. You know, what this brought up is you're beginning to see the U.S. being boycotted because of the tariffs. But also interesting enough, the U.S. had outsourced all of its manufacturing to the utmost degree in the past years, meaning that it is not actually in the old economics as self-sufficient as what they may think. And also, when you look at the education involved with manufacturing and a lot of the products that they had brought in, they do not, let's say, have readily the education to quickly employ these to use. So what we also see is on the U.S., yes, another pressure as part of that destruction. So this was very good, Sergey, to bring that up. Now, as for replicators, if you will, you know, the 3D printers is already here worldwide again. But when you look at the manufacturing capacity to roll this out, it's really not in the US. They don't have that again because they did most of their outsourcing and imported much of their goods. So I'm very happy you brought this up, Sergey, at this time, because I really did not even look at that important point as well. So you're seeing, but I need to say that the U.S. is the last domino of the beast system to fall, and it always has been, because it's what kept the beast system up. But also just say that in reality, with what what the beast system gives you with the books if you're to actually know the truth. But I think they begin to fudge the numbers with their books. China actually owned the biggest percentage of the treasury bonds of the US, which meant that where China owned its debt, that China was actually the creditor of the US. So it's a very funny and a topsy-turvy real truth of how things went. But, you know, and this was also one of the reasons why the U.S. was, with Helicopter Ben, forced into creating the quantitative easing, with creating the money through the Fed to try to get out of the trap of China owning them, if you will, in the old economics. But then again, the highest level, what they don't give to the people, China, US, Russia, they all work together at the highest. And, you know, the political game is to facilitate the events in the world, to give a reason for a war, to give reason for poverty, and what have you. So it is not incompetence, it is intention that they do this, because again, no one is so stupid as to know that GPMS, this replacement system, is the idea and the most humane way to go, and then it can be done in the blink of an eye. So there is no justification by any politician or government worldwide not to embrace this instantly. You know, but they're constructs. If you look at the World Bank, the IMF, the Hague, the International Court of Justice, all of these things as well is part of that beast system. And of course, the capitalistic system as a whole, it's all organized to keep humanity enslaved. And it's again, it's about the energy. So, with their unlawful legal systems and their monetary policy, it's all designed energetically to enslave people and keep them in misery, because that energy that is generated from that keeps the evil world intact, and it keeps causing people to do things that they would not want to do. The system is designed to create criminals because it likes that as well. So, because the more criminals that the system creates as well, they're able to have more control over people. But it's all a insidious, heinous, and nefarious. You can use any adjective that's negative to describe it, because they all fit, because the whole system is negative and not in the public interest, and definitely not humane. And again, it's sick with the simple morals to see the people worldwide supporting a system that does so much harm, and again, is killing so many children worldwide every day. Over probably 20,000 children now a day dies of hunger worldwide, and it's probably up to 40,000 or getting close of people that die each day because of hunger worldwide. It's absolutely not acceptable. It's sick. But also, I need to say the number that it's about 800 million that go to bed each night hungry. Like, what kind of a sick, savage world is that, when, again, enough food could be grown here to feed 10 times the present world population? And GPMS does this. Upon implementation of GPMS, boom, all of your technology to grow, to even make rainforests in the desert with drill rigs, everything you need instantly. There's more than enough food anywheres. And it is very sad. It's very immoral. It's very sick. It's very savage to see one still supporting that old system and not here doing what is right with gpms.world. So again, it is sick, but as Brother Dave would say, this is the reality of things, what we're here to change, and this is what we're doing. So every day we get one to come with us. We keep getting bigger. That's the beauty, the cumulative vote, that eventually we do get there. Nothing stops this, and we'd love to see it happen in the blink of an eye. But with many of the events that we discussed here today, what is occurring in the world, we see many more contributing factors that is pushing ones towards making the moral and civilized decision of consenting with GPMS and making it happen sooner than later. Thank you.
So because we approach a little bit almost to 2 hours, I would ask if somebody wants to develop a subject for the actual meeting or not. So if nobody has nothing to say for today, then I would say thank you to everyone that participated on this meeting, and also to everyone that will share the video. And let's share, unite, come together with Divine-gpms.world, and we can move forward in days, in weeks. So there will be a huge impact. And if the number is there, there will be no necessity to pass 6 months and to see practically no results. So we deliver results with the 99%. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sister Beatrice. And just before we go, I'll add that a GPMS as a universal nation, I believe, might be up around 186, on our way towards the top of being the biggest nation in the world. So that's important to keep in mind as well. So we are a universal nation, and we get bigger each day, and soon we'll be the great people's nation, universal nation, and heaven on earth, and everyone is free to be in peace, love, harmony, and wealth, and the utopia is created. So it's not a utopia that it's just something that is fantastic. It is very real. So with that, love, light, and gratitude, everyone, have an amazing day, amazing week, and we'll be back here, I believe, next week in these exciting times.